Triple H had some very interesting comments at the. But I know your
About
favorite
me?
word. Someone
Were they
did.
about?
Someone
Were
did.
they
We're going to
about
be
me?
we're going to be getting to some interesting comments about you from somebody else later on. But Triple H said, when asked where Jade Cargill has been recently after debuting on WWE television in out of the ring scenarios, so she was all over TV for a couple of weeks and now she's disappeared. Triple H had the following to say: I have no less belief in Jade now than I did then, when he signed. Or he signed her. It's interesting, when she came in, we talked about her developments and where she would land. I want to make sure that no matter what is thrown at Jade Cargill, she is ready. And at no fault of her own, I think she was limited in that. So the idea is we exposed her, we made her be seen, people are understanding, and they are waiting, and they're excited for her to come. And when she does, it will be massive. I don't want to pitch to get thrown at her that she's never seen before. I want, no matter what that pitch is, she's going to crack that thing out of the park. You can just see it in her. That's the presence she has. That's the star she is. Now, there's one very interesting line, is that Jade Cargill is essentially, through no fault of her own, limited physically. What he is saying there is that AEW has done a terrible job of training Jade Cargill, essentially.
I actually agree. They put her out there for week after week after week and just let her win. That's why she got up to 50 wins or 60 wins. But I don't think it helped her at all, because I don't think anybody of the talent would act like they fear her. And she doesn't go in there and do really crazy stuff. So I think they have actually worked against that girl. And they worked against her getting over. So, and that's why she's off TV now. They're backing up. They're taking stock of her again, and let's see where they go with it. I wish her a lot of luck.
I don't think it sounds like buyer's remorse, but Jade Cargill is definitely, to this point, as far as technical proficiency, she is style over substance. And how much can you learn over the course of 2 years or whatever it is in 60 matches?
Well, I think she needs a manager that can talk his ass off, and he brings her out and he's taking her over, and let's go from there. Because I don't think her verbal skills are going to blow anybody away at all. She looks good. She looks great. She's 160 pounds. She can go up against Charlotte Flair. She can go up against what's her name?
Becky Lynch, you're Io Sky. She go up against anyone.
She can go up against all of them. So, but they got to tell a story with her. And unless they tell the story, where's it going? So I don't think putting the title on her right away, that doesn't help anything. She's had the title for almost over a year before. I don't think it helped her that much. So we'll see where they take this.
So I just looked up then. She's had in AEW something like 61 matches in AEW. Most of the matches were short. She won pretty much every single one of them. And then it got me thinking, and I actually wrote this for something else, is that of all the AEW homegrown stars, very few of them, since they started, let's say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or even maybe from 2019, have actually improved. And I was looking at one specifically, Hook, which is Taz's son. He wrestled Rocky Romero on the weekend, or Dynamite, I can't remember which one it was, or just everything's just running towards. And he's not improved. He's still, a bit nervous and a bit unsure of himself. And then you see how many matches he's wrestled on TV. 40-ish in 2 years. And there's like no house shows, really. Very few live events that AEW puts over the year.
Do they even do house shows?
Occasionally.
Well, he's had nowhere to learn, to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
Did he work some independent shows?
He must have done, but none big enough to even put on cagematch.net.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, he needs to be on a show where he can get in front of people to try his stuff, and somebody needs to be personally picked to be in that ring could teach this kid. Taz knows that. Taz is going to let him go to these shows and just say, hey, learn it on your own like I did, because Taz learned from much better instructors than what they got out there now.
Yeah, and I'm sure he wrestled 4 times a week when he was starting out on little independent shows here, there, and everywhere to tweak his character and get his footwork right and everything like that. But I mean, with a lot of the young kids, you know, like Jungle Boy and who else can I mention? I can't remember. Daniel Garcia, there's another name just to pluck out of thin air. All these young guys, none of them really, or very few of them, seem to be doing independent dates, and they're certainly not doing 3-4 matches a week to improve themselves continually. So essentially, you just end up in sort of stasis.
Well, if they get paid to sit at home, there's no need for them to get out on the road. That's what I'm saying. If you want to learn, you got to go and work a match. You're not going to make a killing for it. You're not going to make $300. You're not going to make $200. You make $150. But they tell you, you get better and you'll make $200, $250. Now you have an incentive to kind of learn the wrestling game. Otherwise, you're just going to the ring and going through the motions, and you get your hand raised at the end. I guarantee you, they take them on these shows and don't get any heat on them either. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to look at the people to get the people to react to them. So I think it's the worst possible way to learn ever. But everybody knows who he is. So if you put him on an independent show, everybody's going to know who he is. So he needs to go out there with a middle of the card guy in AEW and get the crap beat out of him a time or two and see if they can teach him something.
You said a very important word there before, privilege. So let's say Hook is, I don't know, 24 years old or something like that now. So he was signed, let's say, when he was 22. Just plucking numbers out of the air, but they're roughly right. I'm sure when he was signed, he was making, for the amount of hours he's working and travelling, very good money. 6 figures, most likely, I don't know. But, you know, far better than the national average, I'm sure. And then what about in a year's time? Let's say his contract runs out and he goes, hey, you know, I've been on AEW TV for years now. I'm a well enough known name. I'm going to try my luck at WWE. And then he could go to WWE. They sign him. And then they realise, or one way or the other, they don't sign him. They talk to him and they say, well, how many matches have you had? Oh, 50 in 3 years. And they'll look at him and laugh him out of the room. But the thing is, Jade Cargill's sort of the same thing, but she's a spectacular physical specimen that they can market around in that sense. So maybe she got like a pass on that front.
Well, we'll have to see where they go with this, because I am not a big believer in overpaying guys starting out. You know, the NFL, their first year, you know what? Say he was All-American quarterback. You know what they make the first year? They have a gap,
a scale,
right? That they can't make more than.
I don't know,
and it's $400,000. So if you put that in the scale of AEW, if they're making, I don't know, say $200,000, that's not a lot a match, but they're paying this guy $400,000 a year to practice, because that is I think that is what they said, the point to where a first year rookie can make without any problem.
Is it the salary cap?
It is the salary cap. Yeah. They wanted to give me one, and I said, and I hopped over the table and slapped them. I said, here's your cap. And then they come across with all the money. See?
Where's your cap?
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
That's my cap. And here's the other one. For sale, by the way, University of Dutch. See, we would go down the road. The University of Dutch was always in session. Always. We go to a match, it's in session going to the match. And we get out and we walk in the dressing room and they bring over your opponent. Okay. So now we start thinking about your opponent, or whoever's facing him does. Not up to me, but it's up to the talent that if she's over, like, say, Cargill, you know, she has to go out there and actually make this opponent worth beating. She's got to make this girl look pretty good. Because when it comes back and they said, well, who'd you beat? And, well, so-and-so, that wasn't too hard, was it? And she said, yeah, a lot better, a lot harder than what I thought. And now she can tell a story. Yeah, if they knock me off, they got a bragging right. But now, if I would go in a ring against you and they say, okay, we want you to go 8 minutes, do something, a finish, but they would make James look well enough that he looks like he belongs in the same ring as you do. If you just go out there and beat him up, that doesn't do you, either one of you, any good. So go out there, make him stronger than what he needs to be. But so when you beat him at the end, you've beaten somebody. And it has always made sense to me then, makes sense to me now.